I'm Noelle with today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips and tricks on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today, I want to welcome a very special guest today, Karen Coffey, founder of Making Agents Wealthy, author, and coaching company. Hi, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me on, Noelle. I enjoy it.
Well, we are super excited about this. You have changed the lives of many people, I am sure. And we would love to get a little bit of knowledge from you today. And the market that we're seeing right now, it's more important than ever to pick up the phone and prospect, whether you're a seasoned agent or a newer agent. How do you relay this to your clients?
Yeah. So now is the time you cannot, as agents, especially women in real estate, and I'm speaking to both men and women, but when we're in a shifting market like this, there is no stone that you can leave unturned because we don't know what's happening tomorrow. We don't know what our personal marketplace is going to be. So calling the leads, and let's just talk specifically about Espresso, if that's okay, Noelle, calling for sale by owners, expireds, nobody, and I laugh because nobody wants to pick up the phone and use that old script, right? That old script of, hey, this is Karen Coffey with XYZ Realty. Listen, how can I help you? And how long will you take before hiring an agent to sell your home? Nobody wants to do that.
No.
So how we relate that to our clients at Karen Coffey Coaching is that we want to come from a place of contribution. And I think, and we'll talk more about it later, but our entire businesses, if they can come from contribution and impact on people's lives, instead of coming from that salesy, from that slick, from that, oh my God, these scripts have been used for 50 years, really. And people know it. You're the 40th agents that's called. Actually, you may be only the fourth. But say something that is of value to them. Not what is, because you're trying to get the listing, right? That's why we're calling, right?
Yes.
We got expired, we got FSBOs. They're selling super quick. But say something of contribution. So here's an example. So instead of using that old-fashioned script, Noelle, we'll use something like, and not use something like, we use the script. And please hear me. This is not about calling and saying, hey, I have a buyer. Look, guys, if you don't have a buyer, quit it. Stop calling people and lying to them, first of all.
Agreed.
Because I mean, seriously, that is just stupid. I'm just going to get rid of you guys.
Up with a lie, so that's never good.
Yeah. And how is that going to impact? Just don't. You don't have a buyer. Don't tell them you have a buyer. Quit it. So, but listen, some of you have a database. Some of you will have, like, I've got open house leads. You've got a database that has your open house leads somewhere along the line. You have your sphere of influence. Let's say it's 100. Let's say it's 200. And then the next thing I would do is like, hey, it's Karen Coffey with XYZ Realty. Listen, I'm not trying to list your house. I just want to sell it. I have a database of over 100 buyers, would love to come by for like 15 minutes. Do you have any openings today or tomorrow? Well, we don't want to list it. No, I don't want to list it. I just want to sell it. I've got buyers. I can't find homes. I don't get into, is it overpriced? I don't get into, are you going to pay my commission? Just get me in front of them.
Just get in the front door.
That's right. That's right. For 15 minutes. And I mean, literally, I am not a bait and switch girl. If I say 15 minutes, it's going to be 15 minutes on the nose. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to say, hey, great. Let me see what you've done to, renovate or upgrades you've done to your home. Perfect. Look, I'm going to send this out to my database tomorrow. And I'm going to see if there's anyone interested. And if there is, I'm going to call you. I'm going to ask to see if we can show it. But let me ask you a couple questions before I leave. What do you want to net on this home? What are you looking to net? I know you told me you're moving to Michigan. You want to be there. We've already done that as we're walking around.
The last question, 160.
Yeah, you want to net 160?
Karen, I put a lot into this house.
Absolutely. I'm not going to argue and go, ooh, well, I don't know. Guys, this isn't a listing appointment. I am not putting it in the MLS. I'm not concerned about, I'm like, okay, you want to net 160? I'm going to price it at 175, whatever covers my commission out to my real estate. I'm not going to get, or I can ask them, that's what you want to net. So does that, you mean like, are you paying commission out of that? Well, we don't want to pay commission. Well, okay, well, I'll get it covered. I don't care. I can do that. I can just, add to it. And this is not a net listing, guys. So don't think it's not illegal.
Like, hold on, wait a second.
Right? Like, whoa, no, it's not that. It's just get this out to your list, and your list starts depending. Like, if you do this, here's what we do. We will go on 3 to 4 appointments a week. We send out 3 to 4 properties in one email to our entire database, sphere of influence, everybody that has a pulse in an email. They get that email. And it says, hey, we got 4 off-market properties this week. Hey, that means I have value. They can't find it on Zillow. They can't find it on realtor.com. I am the off-market queen. And so I say, look, I've got 4 off-market properties this week. Here they are. I don't really put a ton of pictures. I just say Williamsburg area, 4-3 with a pool, golf course, whatever is special about that home. And then I'll put the price and just see if anyone responds. So that was a lot of information, and that's what we're doing. No, well, in this market, what's that?
And it's working. You're doing this 3 and 4 times a week, you said.
Yes.
Goodness. Yeah. So they're not even, like you said, you're not listing it. You're bringing them off market.
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly. Now, are the chances going to respond to sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I've met them in person. I've got their net number, or, somewhat. Then I'm going to follow up on the following Monday and go, hey, we sent it out to our list. We didn't get any responses, or we did, and I've already shown it. But when you have a market that's super tight, that, like, I was talking with an agent yesterday in Massachusetts, and there's just nothing available.
Nothing.
The houses that are on the market, you know what I'm talking about, Noelle. They smell, they back up to a nuclear plant. There's a reason.
You'll be showing the same property to a few of your buyers. You've
got one property and everybody's showing it, and it's still not selling.
Yeah, back to back. You're like, well, I got my next buyer coming in to see.
Yep, exactly.
Challenging times for sure.
For sure. So when you've got this kind of off-market property inventory, and people start to know you as, look, every week I'm going to be sending you these off-market properties. That's where Espresso has really benefited our agents, because we've worked with thousands, and I mean, there's just not one person that we don't recommend it to, because I believe in it. I used it myself when I was a producing agent. And that's why I recommend, I mean, I'm not one to say, oh, use that and then not use it.
It works. You just have to pick it. Works. You have to do it. You have to
connect. I don't call it cold calling. I call it, let's just connect with somebody and actually come from contribution. We're trying to sell their house. Hey, if it helps me, great. And it will. So anyway, there you go.
So that being said, the importance of a schedule. And if you have a newer agent who's just getting into the business and you're coaching them, how do you let them know how important it is to sticking to a schedule?
Yeah.
Picking up the phone and prospecting, and what are your non-negotiables every morning when you wake up? Like, how are you outlining their day for them? What do they need to do to be successful?
Right. When you say new agent, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, bless it. That's an old Southern term, like, oh, bless it.
Yeah, you get it. And like, oh, I'm going to show these cool homes.
Yes.
I'm going to have my own schedule. And then you're like, oh, no, it's actually a real business.
It's a real business where I have to really show up. So I have a really cool way of kind of working with new agents. And I'm like, hey, look, if I was the CEO of and I am, but if I was the CEO of a company and I was hiring you, and I was going to pay you 6 figures a year, like $100,000 a year. And I said, hey, the only thing that I require is that you show up at 8:30 every day and you leave by 1 o'clock. But while you're there from 8:30 to 1 o'clock, you have to do what I tell you to do. And it's nothing crazy, but you have to do these things. It's called money generating activities. We call them MGAs. And you only have to work every other weekend, and
Okay.
4 days during the week. Would you want that job if you could make 6 figures?
Yeah, sign me up.
And they all say yes.
Yes.
And then I'm like, then do this. Do this. So here we call it a $1 million day schedule because literally, if we miss one day, we may be missing out on $1 million in inventory
Mhm.
that we could have listed or sold because it is that important to have a schedule. So 8:30, come in, get your head in the game. You've had the kids dropping them off at school. Stop, take 15 minutes. I
Mhm.
always I always do something where I put what my goal for the year is,
Okay.
and then I'll put something along the lines of what motivates me to get to that. What's the motivation behind that? I don't even call them goals because I think goals are kind of like wishes.
Mhm.
So to me, I call them commitments. What's my commitment? Because like if I'm committed to losing 20 pounds, that's a whole lot of different than having a goal to lose 20 pounds,
Yes. Yes. No,
right?
you're right. It's dedication. Yeah,
Yeah,
dedication, showing up, commitment, like you said.
exactly. And so I'll put my commitment, what motivates me about that. And I have to get super real. Is it so that I feel worthy? Is it so that I am happy with myself? Or is it that I want to take all of my entire family to Italy at the end of
Yeah.
next year? It could be, many I wanna buy a boat and a lake house or something like it. And, so for then I go into my gratitudes, because if I don't get into a vibration, an alignment with what I'm grateful for, this is a whole deeper conversation, then I'm coming from a place of maybe scarcity or lack, and I've got to move into gratitude. So it's just 10. So here's my commitment, what motivates me. It's a whole mindset thing.
You have to believe.
You do, because once you move into your day from a place of lack, there's no inventory, there's no houses. Agents are leaving the business like in droves. If you are going to focus on that, how are you going to act? You're going to act just like them.
And then
So
who wants
stop
to
blaming.
hire you if you come across as a negative Nancy, and you don't,
Right.
that's going to show up when you make your calls and go on your appointments.
Yes. Yeah. So that non-negotiable is 15 minutes. And then there's one question that I always ask, and I get really quiet. And I'm very faith-based. I'm not religious. I'm just spiritual, I'm spiritual, but I'm faith-based. And so I use the word God and I say, God, based on my commitment, based on what motivates me, based on what I'm grateful for, what's the one thing I can do today? What's just one thing I can do today? And then I will follow through with that. Now, there's my other MGAs, my money generating activities that I'm going
Mhm.
to do, but let me just get connected to something greater than me.
Okay.
Let me take me out of the center of the equation and go,
Mhm.
okay, if I'm going to impact people, if I'm going to come from contribution, I know and I have a belief that I am prospered. I know and have a belief that more than I could ever ask for. I mean, there's the blessing and the finances and everything is just huge when we do this and then follow through with it. So that's the first thing. And then the next money generating activities is always espresso or any other lead generation source that you might have. And so like I said, you don't want to leave any stone unturned in that time. Then you're going to do follow up.
You kind of touched on social media for a second, and I was going to ask you what your thoughts are on social media because um, now more than ever, you're seeing agents doing TikToks and reels and
Yeah.
every single day. Um,
Mhm.
and what do you think about that um, business wise? Do you think
Yeah,
that is an income producing activity, a
I
money
absolutely
generator?
do. I do, but I think it needs to be done in certain ways, you know?
Tactically,
Also, don't forget, always come from contribution, always come from impact. How can I help the people that are listening to this? Not how can I look cute, right? How can
correct.
I look funny? It's like you have a responsibility as a licensed realtor,
Professional, yeah.
yeah, to educate, let them know what's happening in the market versus what the media is filling them with, and then be the one that knows how to find the need, their pain, and fill it. Help them. I think video, I think when you do social media, don't forget your database. Do
Yes.
both. Send the video to your database because not everybody is on both platforms, so just cover your bases.
Yes.
Yeah. But I
Like
think
you
it's hugely
said, you need to flip every stone. You turn every stone over. You can't just call expired. You have to also call FISBOs, and social media
that's right. And you've
it's a
got to do
full-time
other
job
things.
if you're doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think that, and make sure that you talk about your results because can I get real here for a minute?
Yes, definitely.
No, this is real. I am real. People have a preconceived notion of what a realtor is, what they do, what their worth is,
Mhm.
and why they should pay them. So when they see a video or an email from you and it's just like, oh, isn't this cute? And I'm shaking and I'm dancing and I'm singing a real estate song, whatever. You've seen them. You know what they look
I
like.
have, and I know what you're gonna say. It gives them the right to think they can do our job because that's pretty much what a lot of sellers think.
Yes.
Think they can
Yes.
do it on their own. They're like, I'm an agent. I can do this. I don't need you. And
Obviously, I can do it. Look at the video that she just sent out or he sent out. It's
yeah,
like, oh my God. Okay. So we've got to start talking in results language. That means, hey guys, I just wanted to stop by here and let you know that we are selling homes in a matter of hours right now. Or you can say, we're just selling homes in days, not weeks, for 99% or 110%. Somebody else I talked to yesterday, $30,000 over, they're still getting this. So you're right. That was my point. Speak in results. Look, buyers, don't believe what the media is telling you. Look, you can go in, find a home. Sellers are negotiating in the slow areas. You can be
mhm.
saying sellers are negotiating points to buy down your loan. You can refinance in 2 years. You can get a 3-1 arm. You can do all of these things to ward off this high interest rate and get into a home for the same 4% you could years ago. And
Yes.
then if it does go up, just refinance in a couple of years. You got to be smart. You got to be on it. You got to pivot really quickly when markets shift like this.
And then you need a competent agent. You need someone who
Yes.
is representing you well because like you said, you even right now, even
Mhm.
with the limited inventory from here, right, where I'm an agent,
Yeah.
you can still ask for things to be repaired. You can, but
Sure. You can.
some people completely just, "Oh, you can't do that." They're not representing their client because they're fearful.
Yeah.
But then there are some, there are, like you said, there's homes that are still getting like 10 offers
Oh my gosh.
in a
Yes.
day,
Yeah.
and people
We
are,
thought it was over, but it's not.
no, it's not. And you're right. You can refinance down the road.
Mhm.
It's always a good time to buy, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We were in double digits back in the Reaganomics, we were 14% interest rates, some as high as 18%. Guys, this is not the end of the world, but the media doesn't have jack to talk about. So this is what we're talking about.
I
And
know, so
people are
that's why
buying.
it's good not to turn the TV on before you start prospecting, right?
Ooh, Lord, don't do that. No.
So, all
Don't.
right, I have a question for you. So, if you are a newer agent and you were talking about database,
Yeah.
what if you don't have one? Is that where do you start?
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm not gonna give you all the things that we do,
Of course,
but
of
here's
course.
you
Like,
know
stop asking so many questions.
Would you just quit? No, it's great. It's fine. I'm happy to share. So there's a lot of seasoned agents that don't have a database because where's it going to come from? Well, over time it comes from open houses, right? Or
Mhm,
people that you meet and communities that you belong to. But our number one way is now people aren't going to like it because they don't know the rest of the story because there's more that we do with it. But we reach out to people on Facebook locally and probably about 10 messages a day to people that we know. We're not
mhm,
spamming them. It's inviting them to something and it's really cool and beautiful how seamless it is. And so 10 a day. Some people think it's spam, the majority do not. But we're like, just give me your email so I can send you an invitation. And then that's how it builds. And then it's just, yeah, it's a lot of fun and
mhm,
it's good. So if they don't have one, and some people are like, I'm brand new in an area. That's
mhm.
a big, I don't want to say excuse because it is reality, But if you're brand new to it, I just moved here. I don't know anybody. Well, number one, get out of your house and start meeting people. But it's not that easy. But go to businesses. If I
Yes.
am not a door knocker, I will never tell you ever, especially women. Come on. We're not doing that. That started, by the way, that started back in 2000 and I'm sorry, 1908.
Oh,
Door
God.
knocking started in
Fun fact.
1908. Yeah.
I
It
didn't know
started
that.
with the Fuller Brush Company. They were door-to-door salespeople. NAR was founded in 1908 and said, "Hey, that's a great way to get business. Let's start knocking on doors." Guys, it's not 1908 anymore. It's
No.
2023. Get with the program.
Mhm.
Connect with people. We live in these we come into our garage, the door's down. We don't talk to anybody. We don't meet people. It's like connect with people, see what they need and fulfill on what they need.
No, you're
Just
right. You're
yeah.
right. My broker says, "Don't be a secret agent.
Yes, yes, yeah. Don't be. Don't be a
Talk to people." They're like, "Don't do it. Like, don't be a secret agent. Like, let people know that what you do."
But most people don't know what to say. They're gonna talk in like, "I'm a realtor," and again, people already have a connotation of what a realtor is, so they already know who you are, what you do, and what you're worth.
Mhm.
You've got to talk with people in a way, and I am not a networker. I don't like networking, but, I don't know why. I just never did. Um, but I like to meet people digitally.
Mhm.
I like to host. I
Okay.
like to start business communities.
Mhm.
I feel more comfortable talking to businesses. I never talked to a friend. I was kind of that secret agent until my sister-in-law listed with somebody else, and then I said never again. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's happened to a lot of you, I know.
Oh, for sure. You get business from places you never
Mhm.
imagined getting business, and
That's
then you
right.
don't get business from the people you
You think shoe in, right? Family?
do it.
They're the
Yes,
worst.
family, no, you're right, and it's funny that you said you didn't call your friends either because,
Mm-mm.
when I first got into real estate and I had my coach,
Yeah.
she's like, "Who are you most comfortable calling?" I'm like, "Expires," and she's like, "Expires? That's so weird." She was like, "I've never heard anybody say expired." So I was like, "Oh, no, I'm absolutely terrified to call my database." I was like, "I
Yeah,
don't wanna come across as salesy."
right.
I was like, "In FISBOs, for some reason, I'm scared of them too." And it was just expires, expires, expires. And they're like, "But you get mean people." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But I mean,
Well,
it
I'd
is,
rather have mean people, right, than
I guess, than like coming across as salesy, like you said, and it,
mhm,
like to your friends. But it
mhm.
is such a silly way to think, and it's very limiting,
Right.
very
But
limiting.
I love how because the way we have found a way to circumvent that so that it's never salesy. That's the worst thing in the world is to sound like a salesperson,
Mhm.
but yet people need to know. So there's some really beautiful ways of doing that.
You just need
And
to know your script. So it sounds like people need to reach out to you, read your book,
we would
get
love that.
get
Yeah.
involved
Yeah.
in some coaching. So, Karen, tell everyone how we can connect with you.
Yeah, yeah. So you can get on Amazon and get the book. It's Making Agents Wealthy, and that is the name. Karen Coffey Coaching is the name of my company, but our program is called Making Agents Wealthy. And if you want to connect and find out more, we have some. Yeah, it's just amazing the results that we have. My website is karencoffey.com.
Okay.
Coffee is spelled Coffey. And if you want to just set up a call and talk with one of us about what's happening, what we can offer, if we can't give you what you need, we will direct you to somebody else. We
Okay.
have no problem with that because it's not for everybody.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, you are so welcome. I am passionate about, yeah, I'm just passionate about people being successful without feeling demeaned, without feeling like, oh, I just got this job as a car salesman. But you can make so much money. And
Yes.
I mean, our first year clients are making multiple six figures, not just six figures, but multiple.
I
So
love
we're
it. I
very
love
proud.
it. Well, everyone's going to love hearing that. So,
Yeah. Thanks.
phone or visit Karen's website.
If it feels like it would resonate with you, yeah,
Yes.
talk to
Yes.
us. And if
Yeah. No,
not,
I love it.
whatever.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for
thanks, Noelle.
take care.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.